Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to use this brand new Airtable budget automation and workflow that I put together. You can also pause ad sets using this thing. It's super cool. So this is kind of like the V1, but wanted to get it out to the group as soon as possible so you all could start tinkering around with it and we could start making updates to it. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Base. First one is an ad account table, just pretty simple. You put in your ad account name, ad account ID. This stuff is extra, so don't really worry about that. Mainly these two things are the things that are required. This will pull in all of your ad account data. The next thing you need is an API key. So this is the Meta API key that you get from going and creating an app within Facebook. I'm going to include a separate video specifically on how to do that. Um, so if you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the course as a separate video. Make sure you watch that on how to grab that authentication API token and throw it in here. So once you have your ad account table filled out and your API key, then it's as simple as going to this ad sets budget table. There's a handful of different views here, but there's a pull data column here. You click refresh data, and what this does is it runs a script that uses your API token and all of your ad account IDs, and then pulls all of your KPI performance data from today, the last 7 days, and the last 30 days, and then throws it into this table. So I have a view for today, last 7, last 30, or you can go to grid view and view all the data at once. Um, the awesome thing with Airtable is you can create unlimited amount of views. So you could say like, oh, I want today's view, but I want today's view for only a specific ad account. It's as simple as duplicating the view. With Airtable, or yeah, with Airtable, whenever you duplicate a view, it will show you this, like it'll change it to a like personal view. So you just have to make sure you change it to a collaborative view and change your name. So I'll say this is my today view, and I'll say it's Mr. Paid Social. So this is going to be for my Mr. Paid Social ad account. Then you click this little drop down arrow here where it says personal view, change it to collaborative view if you want other people on your team to see it. Otherwise, you can keep it as personal view. You can even create a locked view that shows only data that you want to have access to. So yeah, I like to have mine. It's always set to collaborative. And then here, it's as simple as creating a filter. So I can add a condition here and say account name, and then is Mr. Paid Social. Might need to be all caps. Mr. Paid Social, I think is what it's called. Sometimes it's easier just to contains. Um, so yeah, this filters out my ad account. And so now I'm looking at today's view of performance for just the ads that I have running in my Mr. Paid Social ad account. So this is showing me all my metrics. I'm not really spending anything today. I think I turned my ads off this morning. Um, but that's how you create a custom view out of like one of these templated views. There's also this last 7 days, last 30 days, and then this kind of like ad set filter view. So this is what kind of includes all three different today, last 7, and last 30 metrics. The way this table works is we've got kind of a different section. So we've got today's metrics. So you can see right here, we've got today spend, website clicks, CPC, complete registration, purchases, cost. I think we have cost per registration and that gets pulled in as well. Basically, it's pulling in all the main custom events from Facebook. So if for some reason you're running an event that doesn't fall within that, let me know and we can edit the script to have it pulled in. Um, and then, yeah, it spits out your current daily budget, the date that it was last edited. So it'll show you like, when did I last touch this thing? This shows like today I edited this. And then also shows you the date last launched. So this can be really helpful in building out a filtered view that shows you only ad sets that meet a certain criteria. So for example, when I edit ad sets, I don't want to edit an ad set that went live yesterday because it doesn't have enough spend behind it. So I might create a filter that says date launched is before a week ago. And then that means that this will only show me ad sets that have been live for over 7 days. Similarly, I might want to add a condition that says um, date last edited is, we can do number of days ago, or I think we can do greater than is before number of days ago. And I could say like 3 days ago, basically. So I could say, I don't want to touch anything that I touched in the last 3 days because maybe I want to give my ad set 3 days to let it just like continue to run before I make another new change to it. Or you could change this to a week, or you could change this to 2 weeks, whatever you wanted to do. But the idea here is you're building a filtered view that's like narrowing down your focus on the ad sets that you only want to be touching right now when you're looking at this thing. Similar to the date launch and all this, you can add KPIs. So you can say, I want my ROAS for the last 7 days to be, greater than, let's see, I might need to change the ROAS. Let's see here. Last 7 day ROAS. Where are you at? Last 7 day ROAS. So here's an issue with Airtable is like I have this right now as like a long text field, which makes it so I can't filter it out the way I want to. So I just have to change this to a number field. So now when I go back to my view and go to filter, I can do last 7 day ROAS is greater than 1. And then, this will basically say, only show me ad sets that have been profitable. If you, like, you can see, like, got rid of all my ad sets because nothing was profitable in the last 7 days. But if you want to say like 0.5, um, or maybe zero point 0.1, you get the point. Basically, you can create a filter for the KPIs that you want to be looking at. You can even do, some of your secondary metrics like click-through rate. You can do today's click-through rate, last 30-day click-through rate, um, all this good stuff. The idea here is any kind of logic that you would normally follow when you're in Ads Manager, you're like looking at your ad sets, and you're like, okay, what ad sets do I want to increase budget to? Like, go through the exercise and like write down what you're looking at and what your benchmarks are, and then basically like throw that into a filter here. And then that will like significantly reduce the amount of time that you're spending every day, like combing through all of your ad sets. So this next part is super cool. It's actually the section that changes your budget. So we've got your daily budget here, you know, date last edited, date launched, and then we've got these different fields. Increase budget, lower budget. Let me go to this view really quick. It's a little bit easier to share or show you. So if we go over to lower budget, so yeah, we've got daily budget. We've got this field that says lower budget, increase budget low, increase budget medium, increase budget high. So the way that these 4 columns work, they're all formulas. So this one states if the last 7 day ROAS is less than 1, then take the daily budget and multiply it by 0.75. So we're reducing that daily budget by 25%. These are all editable, so you can change it to however you would want to like actually go about like changing the budget here. But that's kind of like my baseline. So that's what we're working with there. Then we've got three different kind of like increased budget formulas here. So we've got the increased budget low. This one says if last 7 day ROAS is greater than one, then you're going to increase the daily budget by 1.25. So you're going to increase it by 25%. Um, Then the medium one takes the same thing. It's like last 7 day ROAS is greater than two this time. Then we're going to multiply it by 1.5. So 50% more. So you kind of get the point. We're building these like basically tiers. The highest tier here is if ROAS is greater than three, you're multiplying it by two. Again, these are all editable to however you would actually want to change your budgets. But the idea here is you're kind of like creating these different tiers of like how much you would change a budget and by what KPI you're basing that off of. And then we basically are working with these recommended budgets here. So um, it's only going to recommend a budget if, there's not something before it. So we've got the lower budget here. If there's no lower budget, then we're going to increase the budget low. And then also you can say, I don't like any of these recommended budgets. I actually, maybe there's an ad set that you launched that is like a 10x ROAS and scaling. You're like, I want to scale this thing to the moon. Then you can put in your own budget of like, I want to scale this to $10,000 today, right? And then you can see this budget update column changed to $10,000 because it's going to default always to prioritize this budget override column. So anything you put in here will be the budget that is used. Otherwise, if you remove this $10,000, you can see defaults back to 562, which was this lower increase budget. Um, and then once you are happy, like let's say like you made a whole table of changes, right? Then you can change this status here to ready to update. As soon as you change any column or any row to ready to update, that ad set ID with this new budget will be updated in Facebook, and you'll see an updated come in to show you that it's been updated in Ads Manager. Similarly to the budget, I also have a column that allows you to just pause the ad set. So if you've got an ad set in here, maybe you have a filter view that's like it's been negative, you've been in the red for the last 7 days. It's in the red today. Your click-through rate is below your benchmark. Your cost per purchase is, X amount away from where you need it to be. And then it all meets the criteria in that view. Then you can just go in here, change this to pause ad set. And similarly, once you change the status here to pause ad set, I'll show you um, change this to pause ad set. An automation kicks off, takes this ad set ID, throws it into your ad account, and then this will change to ad set paused. So, like again, if you had a filtered view of a table, you could set ad set pause, drag it down to all of your ad sets that you wanted to pause, and then they would all pause in multiple ad accounts. So this works across as many ad accounts as you want. And again, it all just comes down to like your views and like kind of what you're wanting to do in which view. But the idea here is it takes a lot of time, a lot of that mental load away from like those really easy decisions where it's like, this is an obvious scale, this is an obvious pause. You can have really strict filters where you're only looking at things that are like really doing well or really doing bad, and maybe everything else like you don't run through here and you do it the old-fashioned way in Ads Manager. There's lots of different ways that you can use this tool. One of the really cool things in here is I've built out this AI automation, AI recommendation. So this uses GPT 4.1. You can select any model that you want, any LLM you want. And then I've just put together this prompt, which basically is like, look at all the KPIs, look at the trends, look at all this stuff, and give me a recommendation of what I should do with this ad set. So here you can say like, or you see the analysis that it spits out and the recommendation of like, I think you should, at the end of the day, um, make the budget $540, and this is why. So again, this is all completely customizable. You could write your own custom prompt with like how you mentally look at and analyze ad sets, bring in all those KPIs here dynamically so you can insert any field. Um, You can insert any field from Airtable that's in the table here and have it reference as part of your prompt, which I think is probably the coolest thing about having this right in Airtable. And then, yeah, you just save that. And then you can have it automatically run for every single ad set if you want. That's going to eat up, I think, some of your like AI credits. I'm not really sure exactly how many I have, but it'll give you an estimate. Like I think this one says it's going to cost 4 credits to run per row. So you probably don't want, you probably don't want, Zelda, quiet, come here. My dog was growling. You probably don't want, um, you probably don't want to have that automatically run if you've got like hundreds of ad sets because that's going to eat through your credits. So the other way to do it is like you have maybe like your filtered view where you've got like 10 that you want to run, and then you can click this like run agent button on each one that you want to have it analyze. Uh, for future versions of this, like you can even have this like spit out like a Slack report to you every hour. You could have this thing completely automated where like maybe you have a table that is like the strictest of the strict filters for like only scalable ad sets, and you want to have it run automatically every day to like algorithmically change your budgets. There's a way to set that up. But for this V1, just wanted to get this like kind of like the more manual setup so that you all could start playing with it, give me some feedback, and we can start to improve the template together as a community. That's the beauty of the group, right? Is we all have different ways of doing things, and there's probably some things here that I haven't really thought through, but in general, this is kind of the method that my team historically would use when scaling like hundreds or thousands of ad sets across like 10 different ad accounts. Um, so yeah, also the coolest thing with this entire process is Airtable has a mobile app, and you can literally pop in. You can go to this budget automation in Airtable. You can go to the view that you want. So maybe you have a scale view. You can look at today. You can look at how things are performing, and you can change your budgets from your phone. Um, which like I know Ads Manager has their own app. It sucks. I hate it. It's always crashing. It's not showing me accurate, up-to-date data. This is going to be probably way more reliable than trying to do it through the Ads Manager mobile app or mobile web on your phone. So with that, I'm going to end this video. Let me know if y'all have any questions in the community. I'm sure I'll probably continue to make updates to this and update the template